Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and I am joined again today by Mr. Caleb Daniels, who is writing a book on the guns of James Bond. And that's really quite a lot more than just a PPK, isn't it?
Absolutely. Between 70 years of the literary Bond and 60 years now of the cinematic, we have so much to pull through, particularly even in, which is exciting, the dedicated sidearms. Not just like pickup guns or anything else, but the true issued guns that Bond preferred and are lovingly talked about in pages or on the screen.
And one of the big eras here outside of the cinema and outside of Fleming is John Gardner, who wrote, what, a dozen, 15
In like the
books?
16 years he was the continuation author, I think he punched out almost 15 or 16 books.
And so he spent some time in this first couple novels kind of almost floundering for what's the appropriate gun for a James Bond who he's trying to modernize a little bit.
Yeah, so in context to history, he was writing after the attempted Princess Anne assassination.
Oh, that's right.
So there's this assassination attempt, and a PPK is being used to defend her, and it jams. So the MOD started cycling those back, and they stopped utilizing them. So Gardner was trying to connect to that Fleming root of just being hyper authentic. So with the fact that was huge news at the time,
Right.
And so he starts his first book by acknowledging that the PPK has been banned for service. So he goes on this journey, and we'll go through it in the book, of 3 or 4 different handguns that are some better than others, and some make less sense than others. And he gets a few in, and he finally lands on ASP 9mm, or the ASP.
It's a sneaky pistol.
Yeah, Paris Theodore was famously quoted, "My favorite is their marketing tagline, unseen in the most dangerous of places." I mean, if that was not marketing that would capture an espionage writer, I don't know what else could be.
I think this is a fantastic choice for a James Bond pistol.
For a 1980s Bond, this really, really does him complete justice.
So if you're not at all familiar with the ASP, I actually have a video from 5 or 6 years ago about the ASP. But the gist of it is a guy named Paris Theodore, who started a holster making company, had a lot of connections, contracts to organizations like the CIA. Started, essentially, he and his gunsmiths took Smith & Wesson 39s, which were good quality semi-automatic service pistols.
Full-size service pistols, yeah.
Right. And he cuts them down and heavily modifies them for concealed carry. You can see, obviously, the slide's been cut down, the hammer's been bobbed, the grips are transparent, so you can see how much ammunition is in the magazine. There's like 200 modifications, some significant, some very minor, to these guns to make them the ultimate operator's concealed pistol, which is exactly what Bond is.
Oh, 100%. And, and talks about the, he melts the edges, he does all these cool things. And then some of the wild stuff that's done, too, is you get this gutter snipe sight, which is like that. It's interesting. And, it's funny because you watch history repeat itself throughout the years, right? Because Sig Sauer is now trying to do a gutter snipe with the 365 the SAS model.
The SAS, it's not quite the same thing, but
not
it's the
quite,
same
but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
It's pulling through. And this is well before optic cut guns or, optics were even a thing. This is during the Princess Gate era where there's a mag light strapped to the top of a MP5. So this is revolutionary, and it's interesting because it's yellow paint on 3 sides with black lines coming down. Easiest way to describe it, we'll have some beautiful photos of it in the book.
Yeah.
But I jokingly, just to explain it to people, talk about the original Star Wars and the targeting system that you see. It's pretty much that, except non-electronic.
The whole concept is, how do we draw your eye very quickly to a target point? It's not meant to be a competition site. It's not a bullseye site. It's not.
It's fast, dirty, and up close.
Right. Theodore acknowledges that this is not the most precise sight that you could use. It's less precise than traditional sights, but it's supposed to be a lot faster, and it's more important to get a fast, effective shot at pretty close range. This is not, shockingly, a bullseye competition gun.
No.
This is a down and dirty self-defense pistol.
Yeah, and there's some really cool stuff done to it. And what's cool about this one in particular has seen some real use, and we can tell that because of that tape.
Yep.
A lot of the operator types that functionally use this gun sometimes didn't use a holster. They would drop it in the waistband, and the trouble was, unlike your standard Smith & Wessons,
it's so well melted.
It's overly melted, right? Like a standard Smith, you might be able to catch it in the waistband, but you've got Lexan polymer grips that have super soft. You got rid of all the front strap stuff, which I don't think it was checkered anyway, and then you have a very little bit of checkering on the back strap. Nothing that would prevent that from slipping down the trousers if you had to quickly conceal it, which is what these guys did. So that grip tape was their ability to kind of catch the waistband and prevent it from falling too far.
Yeah. So we have the holster actually for this is a pretty typical belt holster.
And you know what's funny is there wasn't a whole lot of holsters at the time, so when Gardner wrote it, it was the right holster. I mean, he carried in a holster like this at the 4 o'clock position with the dual mag carrier.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the other cool bits about this is not only like there isn't tensioning in this mag carrier. There are in fact there is a big magnet right in the center.
That's cool.
And the magazines. It's a little hard to show you guys on camera, but the magazines are actually magnetically held in this thing.
Yeah, you can feel like just final clap. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of gun where it's funny because you see the Smith & Wesson logoing, and then there's ASP patents everywhere else.
Right.
Like the ASP really was its own gun. I mean, the trigger guard's cut relief on the right-hand side, so you can actually drop your trigger finger in.
Yep.
It's overextended here because back in the day, you do this.
That was the thing.
You do the hook finger, and then you have your trigger finger. So I mean, it's just in theory, it's a really cool gun.
So how long did Bond use these?
He carried them all the way throughout the Gardner. So like from book 4 to the final novel. Now there's a couple instances inside of there where he doesn't. He goes back into the Navy to go on whatever mission, and he gets issued a high power. But this, with Corbon Glazers, is Bond's carry.
You mentioned the Glazers.
Yes. Gardner waxes poetic very aggressively about that. And I guess in fairness, if you look at marketing material from the time around the ASP, like the commercial side, they were marketing it with the Glazers. He was quoting that marketing material verbatim when he said, like, the power of a 44 Magnum and a 9mm, Teflon-coated rounds, cut a man in half, all sorts of stuff like that.
Really, very period callback sort of material.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that he was well-read. He didn't, it's not like he was ballistically testing these things, but he went through to the deep level detail and did his best to, he was on the subject matter experts, the guys that were making the guns. Right. And he read their marketing and went, all right, well, cool. And he brought that right in, which is very, very Fleming. We talked about that in another video. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I have actually never shot an ASP. Have you?
No, I think that's why I said in theory. I'd much rather put some rounds through it. I don't know about you.
Why don't we go do that?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. So I've got the grip tape no holster. You've got the actual appropriate
Kin no holster
specific
with
made
mag carrier.
All right, and I have set up for us, we have slightly limited range facilities here, but I have set up 2 rocking gophers at 10 paces.
Awesome.
So the question is, can we hit them with the gutter snipe sights?
I'm excited to give that a go.
You want to try first? You want me?
I'd love to, if you don't mind.
Please. Hi. Looks like you're having a little reliability issue with the gun there.
Well, it's Teflon coated.
That means it should slide better.
It may be pretty dry.
All right, let's try mine.
Yeah, give you a go. A little high. High. There you go.
Wow. That's interesting. That thing is, first off, I'm having the same sort of issue you are. I can kind of feel it recoil and go, ka-chunk,
Like slid,
back into battery. And it's shooting really high. I had to aim below the target.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's because how you're looking into the snipe. Maybe you have to like really look deep into it.
maybe like I expected. Like the whole point to me was you don't really think about it. You just
Press and go.
target in gutter, and
Go.
that doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah, but you think you're hitting chest size even if you miss.
Yeah, but I want it zeroed right. Like what if he's holding someone hostage?
I don't think this is the gun for that. That's more like it.
The double action pull is atrocious.
Yeah,
But the single action reset's really nice.
really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is hard to tell where exactly,
You're
like,
supposed to be looking.
do you not want to see the bottom stripe of the gutter, maybe?
Yeah, like, are you not supposed to really see the target? You're seeing through?
Let's reload our mags and do a
Give it
little more
another go.
trying.
Yeah.
All right, we have slightly oiled the guns.
Yeah.
Perhaps they'll run a little bit smoother.
Hopefully.
We've reloaded mags.
Shall we?
Go, please be my guest. There we go, that's better. Not quite perfect, but better.
Much better.
Oh, man. That double action is just awful.
It hurts the heart.
All right, let me see.
You're like right on the bottom edge of that.
Still on the bottom?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm aiming at
Right.
the head, but what I'm trying is various alignments of the gutter itself. So
Trying
I'm
to
going
get that little triangle. I mean, it looks like you're hitting right across that bottom edge.
It does, yeah. Let me try centering it. Still high.
There you go, center mass. Center mass.
So if you look down this gutter, I don't know if we can get a good view of that, but you kind of have to, you can't have it exactly in the center, but you need to be able to see some of the bottom stripe to hit point of aim. So you kind of have it halfway between bottomed out and a little bit up. It's
odd.
It's interesting. I mean, the whole site is
It's a lot of fun.
Odd to begin with. I would definitely be happy to take, half a case of ammo and practice perfecting this.
Absolutely. I feel like that'd be the right thing to do.
So, well, there you go. There's our James Bond experience for the
Yeah,
day.
here for it.
Has this changed your thoughts at all about this being a proper gun for Bond?
No, I think, as we discussed, it comes down to getting comfortable with those sights.
Yep.
And I really think of the era, it's perfect. And frankly, now I just want more trigger time.
There was other stuff in this period. There was Devel, but there were the cut down Detonics 45s. Yeah. There were cut down Stars that were all popular in this sort of customized compact carry pistol. And I think the ASP is as you say, the best of the whole bunch.
By and large.
Yeah. All right, well, if you're interested in finding out more about the guns of James Bond, both the novelizations of James Bond as well as all of the different movie eras, check out the link in the description text below. That will take you to the ongoing Kickstarter campaign for Caleb's awesome new book on the guns of James Bond. We have a bunch of cool extras. We have a Kickstarter exclusive special edition there. Lots of cool stuff. Check it out. Pre-order a copy for yourself. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.